everybody, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I have a really fun layout for you today using the April release for Journals for Life. And so in this kind of bundle, there's this ephemera pack, there's some really great traveler's notebook size paper, and I definitely wanted to show you that you don't have to limit yourself to using those just in a traveler's notebook. So I'm actually going to make a 12 by 12 layout today. And I have this photo of my nephew in his favorite little yellow rain boots playing in the puddles. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab some 12 by 12 paper that just kind of coordinates with the paper in this Journals for Life collection, just so that I have a little bit of extra color that I can include. And I wanted to use the yellow behind him, and then I have this black and red that's going to kind of go into my background to tie everything together. So I did pull in just those couple sheets of 12 by 12 paper, but the majority of what I'm using is from this amazing Journals for Life release. And I love the Traveler's Notebook papers in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just make myself a bunch of strips. So I'm going to cut the starburst in half. We're going to use these little raindrops, this gorgeous rainbow watercolor. There's a black and white polka dot. Just really great combination of papers that we can use to create this really fun map behind our photo. So what I'm going to do is just kind of start out taking one strip of each of those and staggering them across my background. And it's going to give me all kinds of really fun details that I can then put that yellow photo mat on top of to really bring in a bunch of kind of different patterns and colors. So I went ahead and moved the black and white one in order just to the other side of the layout because I liked the placement a little bit better. I am going to just kind of put a little bit of glue in the middle to make sure that I'm getting these lined up the way that I want them before I really make sure that they're stuck on that background. And I love this look of having a little bit of an extended photo mat underneath my photo with a torn edge. For some reason lately, that is just really something that is kind of making me happy. I really like how that looks. So then I'm going to go ahead and open up this ephemera pack and just start kind of layering things up. And this is one of my favorite types of photos to use where the kind of focal point of the image is on one side, because it gives me all of this open space on the other side where I can layer up like all kinds of really just fun details and embellishments. So I've put that sun kind of tucked in behind, so you can't really tell that it's a sun. And then we've got these yellow rain boots, and there's another little sun that I'm going to kind of tuck in as well. So you're getting that pop of yellow, but not necessarily that image of having the entire sun. And then I have this little die cut that says puddle jumping. And so I'm just flipping through everything that I have from that die cut pack first to see what all I can use. And I'm loving kind of how those clusters are coming together. I did decide I didn't want the white edge on this little banner, so I just went ahead and trimmed that off. And so I love that these pieces of die cuts come with that white border on there, because sometimes I want it and sometimes I don't. But having it on there kind of gives me that option, whereas if it came without that, I wouldn't have an option to not have it. So then I went ahead and put a little piece of foam underneath that one that says Splish Splash. And so I'm going to use foam to kind of create some additional dimension. So this is a really great way to kind of emphasize all of those layers and textures when you have all these different pattern papers lined up, and then you can add some die cuts right like underneath and on top of your photo. It just creates even more interest as you go because you've got all of these extra little layers and things. Then I went ahead and pulled in these little Redefine Creative felt clouds, and these are also part of the bundle this month at Journals for Life. So if you grab the bundle, you should have a few of these little felt clouds and felt sun pieces in there. You can also grab those in the Redefine Creative shop if you need, additional pieces or really love using those felt clouds like I do. So then I went ahead and just grabbed some stickers that I felt like would coordinate. So we're adding in a bunch of little hearts here in all of these really bright, fun colors. And I'm just making sure that I'm adding that same kind of detail to each of my clusters. So when I add a heart sticker to one cluster, I make sure that I make that same kind of have a heart sticker in each cluster. Now they do not have to be the same hearts, but I do want to have a heart in each one. And then I thought that little green frog was just too cute not to have on this page. And you know, what else am I going to use that cute little green frog other than a playing in the puddles picture? So I went ahead and included another little green frog up in this top kind of embellishment cluster I have going on. And I'm just pulling in some additional stickers. These are from an older, I think it's a Simple Stories collection, but they just went along really well with kind of the theme that I had going on. So it was really just a way to take all of these goodies from Journals for Life and add some extra little details that's going to make this page kind of stand out. And I love combining collections for that reason. So don't be afraid to jump into your stash and combine things that you might not have originally thought would be a perfect fit. Because often if you're matching up based on colors or based on a theme of a picture, you can really create some interesting looks. And so I went ahead and added that little tiny umbrella in that top cluster, and I just love the difference that little tiny detail makes. I also had this little red Adventures die cuts on my desk that was left over from another project, and I felt like that added a perfect little pop of red down there. Now I still do want to add a title, and I left this space on the side of my photo as kind of intentional space to put those letters that I wanted to use. So I'm going to use these Chamel letters to just say play all day. And this layout is really just talking about how excited he was to get these little yellow boots and how we live in Arizona. So he had to like wait and wait and wait until we had enough rain for him to actually be able to play in the rain. And so he would get up every day to see if today was going to be the day that there was enough rain to put on the yellow boots. And so that's just kind of the story that I'm telling on this particular layout. I'm having to make myself an L, which is what is taking me a little more time here because, you know, letter surgery has to happen because you always run out of the letters that you need to use, you know, the most. So I went ahead and added that journaling on that bottom kind of extended photo mat. And I am going to come back and just do a few enamel dots. So I felt like my clusters needed the kind of tiny finishing details. So I've got some yellow and some white ones that I am kind of starting out with here. And I've added those to each of my clusters just to bring everything together, add that little tiny detail, and I am in love with how this one turned out. So make sure you head over to Journals for Life, check out the new releases this month. You can use the code RK20 to get yourself a discount, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.